I'd like to look for my real father, so would you please hire someone to start searching for him?
What? You wanted to look for your father, the one you're related to by blood? I wouldn't really recommend you doing something like that. Why are you wanting to look for him?
Why does it matter to you? I have the right to find him. So stop it with whatever opinion you have about this. Are you starting to get all worried about having your cute little daughter taken away from you by him? That's pretty disgusting to think about, actually, so would you leave me alone?
Wait, that's not what I'm worried about. What do you plan to do if you find him?
Would you please stop trying to pick away at my plans? You're not allowed to know anything about what I have planned for my real father, so just leave all of that information be. I'll have you know, by the way, that I do not view you as my father. I never have, and the best I can think of you as is my mother's side hunk.
Side hunk?
You know, like a side chick.
Oh, is that right? Alright then, I understand what you're saying. I'd only been trying my best all these years to raise you like I was your father. But you're not even going to show appreciation for any of that, are you?
I would never appreciate some unrelated stranger coming into my life and trying to act as though they've always been my real father. So stop trying to, alright?
Unrelated stranger? I understand that I'm not your real father, but I've been putting in so much work to make sure this family has everything it's needed. And I made sure to get you a job working for that construction firm. Yet you're still going to call me a stranger?
Are you trying to get me to feel bad for you or something now? I never even asked to become a construction worker, alright? What made you think that a young woman like me would ever want to work in construction? Are you brain dead or something? How about you put in some effort finding me a better job working at a cosmetics store or something cute?
But that was the only thing I could do for you. You never really took any of your part-time jobs seriously, and you just messed around in school instead of focusing on your grades. It was you who chose not to take their future seriously, so when it came time for you to actually need a job, the only thing I could help you find was that job. Had I not stuck my neck out for you and found you that job, you would probably still be working random odd jobs like you were before I helped.
Wow, I hate all you old men. Always preaching about how amazing you are and why everyone should be just like you. Is that why you stuck me into this construction firm? Come on now. That's worse than just being rude. How about you find yourself a better job, you idiot?
Don't start making any of this about me, May.
But who else should I be blaming for all this? Aw, if only Mom was still around to help me get out of this mess and into a proper life. I wish it was you who would have died in that accident instead of her, honestly. Why did she have to be the one to die then?
Now you are taking things a few steps too far, May. I am trying my best to stay open-minded to everything you're talking about here. But when you start bringing stuff like that up, you're really making it difficult for me. You need to start thinking about how what you say will affect how others will feel. If you don't, then you are going to lose all of those that love you, and you'll be on your own in the future and will get no help.
What are you talking about? What help will I need? I'm going to be getting married to a very wonderful office-working man, and he's going to love me and help me no matter what. Once I've become a part of his family, I won't have to think about what I can and can't say ever again.
I'm sure you might think that's the case, but I'm telling you right now, it isn't.
Ugh, this is getting to become so tiring. I don't have the energy to listen to you go on and on like that all day.
Well, I'm sure you don't.
Anyway, you have a buddy who's working as an investigator, right? For the police? I honestly never understood why your friend would be working a job like that at his age, but I guess he's finally going to become of some use to me. I want you to go get him to find my real father for me.
Listen, May, I can ask him to help you out, but do you really think he's going to want to help you when you talk about him like that? He is my friend, but he is not me, which means he might not be as willing to deal with you when you talk like that. Make sure when you meet him that you're on your best behavior and don't say anything rude, all right?
Did I not just say that you're not my father? I am tired of you thinking you're so important to me when all you're good for is listening to me and doing as I say, you old fart.
Understood. Carter, I have something I'd like to talk with you about. So you have some time?
Hello, Henry. What's going on? It's been a little while since you've contacted me.
Well, this has to do with your skills as an investigator. My daughter, May, she's asked me to get in touch with you and ask for your help.
Hey now, what was that? I thought that you and her weren't at all that close to one another, and that she'd never ask you for anything. So she has really asked you to get me to help her.
Well, it's not really that she asked me to do this. Rather, she's demanded that I get you to help her. She knew about how you are an investigator for the police, so she thinks she can use your help and doesn't even have to ask for it herself.
I kind of figured that would be the case between you two. So, what's this that she's wanting me to take a look into?
May wants for you to start looking for a real father, the one she's related to by blood. At least that's what she's told me to ask you to do.
What? But that girl's real father, the one she's related to by blood, he's,
Yeah, I know about all of that. But I'm not sure how things have gone with him, so I can't really make a good educated guess as to where he's at in life. My wife is long gone now, so there's been no way for me to tell.
I'm sure that's the case. But is this really something you would want to have me do? Wouldn't to me going out and finding that guy for her be a bit tough on you?
Not really. By this point, I don't really care what happens if you find him. She is old enough now where she can decide what she wants to have happen with her life, so I'll let her experience the weight of her decisions firsthand. And the other thing is, you know that I have put a lot of effort into raising her and everything, right? Well, she told me the other day that she wishes her mother had never died in that accident. That it was instead me who died.
Wait. She said that to you? The whole reason that crash happened in the first place.
I have been hiding that very reason from her this whole time. She was thrown away by her real father and all, so I wanted her to at least have some respect for her real mother.
You are far too kind of a man, Henry. Even if you are like her father, the way she is acting, if she were my daughter, I'd make sure she heard all about the truth so that she could see how stupid she's acting. And isn't it because of you that she has that job? What is going on over there, Henry?
I know. But she's even complaining about that job I've given her now. She told me that she never wanted to work for any construction firm. Now she's blaming me for being the one that put her in a situation where she had to take the job.
Oh my God, Henry. I think you need to discipline that daughter of yours a little more. It's because of you that she even has a job at all right now. She barely even went to class in high school and has nothing to show for herself at her age. She needs to start understanding that this world is not all about her, and that if she doesn't start taking responsibility for her actions, it's going to chew her up and spit her out.
I'm thinking the exact same thing, but it's become too late for me to do anything else to help her. She's an adult now, even if her behavior tells us otherwise. She's planning on getting married soon. I think this is pretty much it for my role as her parent, and I'll let her go ahead and live the life she wants. So please just go start looking for that father of hers, would you?
What? That girl is going to get married now? She actually found someone who would want her? Please pardon me for saying this, but how could such a selfish witch like her find a man to marry? What kind of man did she end up finding?
I'm not sure. She won't ever let me go out and meet with him. She doesn't even see me as her father, so of course she's never going to let him meet me.
And is her fiance or whatever okay with something like that?
How am I supposed to know what he thinks? But considering that she's still with him to this day, and they want to get married, means that she's been pulling some sort of really good lie.
Well, I suppose that's true. Although if I were in his shoes, I'd want to meet her father more than anything before marriage.
Ever since she got that job from me, she has been such a pain in my butt. She's the kind of person where she only really cares about someone as long as she can get what she wants from them. So if she's been able to keep me around this long while treating me like crap, then she must be just that good at lying. But none of it is going to bother me now.
And that's why you're totally complacent with me going out and looking for a real father. This is pretty much the end of your relationship with her anyway, so you might as well give her one last parting gift. I'm not sure what kind of man her real father is now, but that's not going to matter to you or I, now is it?
That's exactly right. That's why I'm doing as she said, and asking you to find her that man. And when it comes to the cost of your services, make sure she's the one who has to pay for them. If she doesn't pay you for them, then I'll make sure the money comes out of her paycheck.
Understood. Looks like you really want her to grow up now.
She's an adult now, and needs to understand that she is going to be held responsible for everything she asks for and does, whether she likes it or not.
I just got a message from the investigator. He has finally found out where my real father is. Thank God.
Is that right? Congratulations.
I was really wondering what would happen if I was never able to find him. That friend of yours who was doing all of that investigating is really slow at his job, right? No wonder the police in this town never get anywhere.
Hey, don't speak about his work that way. Please don't tell me you spoke to him with that tone before.
What's wrong with me talking about him taking too long to get his work done? I'm just being honest that he might be too old for his profession now.
But you say things like that in the rudest way possible. You are not being rude to him about it, right? He may be one of my friends, but he's also a complete stranger to you and should not be spoken to in such a childish manner.
I'm the one paying him, so I can say whatever I want. And now that I've given you the news, this is pretty much it for you. I no longer need you anymore. I made sure not to invite you to my wedding tomorrow, so make sure you're not showing up.
What?
You really think I'd want some fake father like you who works in construction at my wedding? I've made sure to invite my real father to this wedding tomorrow, so you're not allowed to come into here.
But what about yourself? Isn't your fiancé and his family already aware that I work in construction as well as you? And have been your dad for years now?
Of course I haven't said anything to them about all that. And they are never going to find out about us working in construction either. You really think I'd ever want to tell them about how you work such a low-life job? No way. I made sure to tell them all that my father has been working overseas as an elite this whole time.
Couldn't you have at least gone with a bit more of a believable lie?
But Mom said it herself, didn't she? She said that my real father has been overseas all this time working as an elite. And the only reason she had to divorce him is because they couldn't live together anymore. So none of this is a lie. That's why I am so looking forward to all of tomorrow. I'll be able to marry my amazing fiancé, and I'll be able to meet with my elite father once again.
Now that you mention your mother, she did say something like that. But I thought I made sure to make things right after that. Your mother was just saying that to make you feel good about your real father. Really, it was all a lie.
All right, yeah, and you really expected me to believe your poor excuse for a lie? It sucks so much for me to have a man like you marry my mom after my real father left and then sit around lying all the time. And that's why I've never thought about you as a father figure to me.
So you're really not bothering to listen to a thing I say then, May.
Anyway, now that I've told you all I needed to say, I'm going to cut ties to you. Don't you ever talk to me again after this, all right?
See. Have a good life then without me. I just hope that things go exactly the way you're hoping.
Stop trying to talk to me like you're my father.
Goodbye forever, May.
Come to my wedding right now, Dad. Things are not going well for me at this wedding whatsoever.
Dad? I'm sorry, but you must have the wrong number. I don't believe that I'm your father.
You're my dad, though. Aren't you supposed to be my father?
No, I don't believe I am. I thought that your father was invited to your wedding today, and that all I am to you is a complete stranger, right? You were telling me yesterday that you invited your real father after all.
And he's completely insane. Who the hell is this homeless man? He came in here completely wasted off his butt and smells like the bathroom at a frat party. And then when he saw me, he came to hug me and his smile turned into a frown and he began to vomit all over the place. This is the worst thing to ever happen to me.
Is that so? Well, I don't care. That's your real father, the one tied to you by blood. So be happy with what you've asked for and leave me out of it. Congrats on being able to meet with him again. Now, you have a good rest of your wedding.
Hold on a sec. I have no idea what's going on right now. There's no way a man like that could ever be related to me by blood or be my father.
But that's the man my friend had found for you, right? He would have gone through all the testing to make sure he was truly your father before letting you know. There should have even been DNA tests done on him. So please don't feel as though my friend made any mistakes. He did exactly as you asked and found you your real father.
There's no way. How could that guy be my real father, though? What is going on right now? There is no way in hell my father should be anything like that man. I was told that he's been working overseas this whole time and is an elite company man.
And, as I was saying to you before, all of that was a lie made up by your mother to try and make you feel happy about your real father.
What?
Don't you what me? I told you plenty of times now, May, that your mom has been lying to you about him and that he's not as good of a man as she wanted you to think. But you never listened to me once, so shame on you, I suppose. Well, now that your real blood-related father is standing in that room with you covered in vomit, are you going to believe me?
No way. So you're telling me that this was all true? That Mom had been married to a homeless man?
I'm not sure what all happened before she married him, but when she was married to him and had made you, he was like a parasite to her that did nothing at all. He just crashed in the house all the time with your mother and would drink all day before going out to work part-time at night. However, it's really not sure what kind of part-time job that was, since he never paid for the house or the bills.
And you're saying that parasite of a lousy man is my real father? Why would my mom ever want to marry a man like that?
From what else I've been told, she only married him after he had gotten her pregnant. She was under the impression that if she had gotten pregnant, the only thing left she had to do, was marry the man. And after only a few months, she couldn't handle being married to him anymore. That's what led to her divorcing him not too long after.
You're lying, right?
You'd think I'd be lying to you now? I'm going to tell you the whole truth now. The reason why your mom came and married me not too long after that was because your real father wasn't going to be able to pay child support for you. So she needed someone with a decent income to carry a lot of the weight. That's why she started to date and then marry me.
Then this whole thing about my real father being overseas working as an elite company man, that's really all a lie?
Yep. That was really all a lie. Your mother was really good at lying to people in order to make herself look good. So she lied to people like her friends and family, even her own parents, in order to not be badly judged for having you and getting a divorce. And by that point, she couldn't stop herself from lying anymore, and got you all caught up in it as well. You are just like your mother now, lying about things to everyone while going into a marriage thinking it will all be okay.
Then why the hell did you even decide to marry a woman like her?
Because she had lied to me as well. But over time, I could see through her lies because of all the suspicious things she'd been up to. And at the time, I was pretty good at figuring out when someone was covering something up or not. So when I found out she had another boyfriend while married to me, I really dug in deep to see what else she was lying about.
What? Mom had another boyfriend?
This is where I'm going to start to really open up this can of worms for you. You're an adult now, after all, so you should be able to handle all of the truth. When your mother had gotten into that car crash, she was in the car with her boyfriend.
Huh? There's no way. Right?
It looks like they got into that crash while going out on a date. I'm not sure if you remember anything about that day, but she was supposed to be going out to get you from school. But then she told me out of the blue that she had other plans come up and made me go get you.
I remember that. I was expecting Mom to show up for me that day, but then you came to pick me up. I was furious that you came to get me and started to scream and yell at you. And then after getting back home, Mom never came back.
She received a text from her boyfriend asking to go out, and that must have made her change plans last second on us. She was so into that man that she was even willing to forget about her own daughter for him. She would even do this to me before the crash, always going out to see him after work, forcing me to come home and take care of you all the time. And well, looks like that last date of hers was her death sentence.
But no. In other words, had she just come to pick me up that day instead of going out with her boyfriend, she could have lived?
Well, that seems to be the case. So, this means that your whole fantasy of me going out and dying instead of your mother would have never happened, because I was never cheating on her with another woman or man.
You can't say that. Why have you kept all of that hidden from me for so long?
I didn't think something like that should have been told to you as you were growing up. Hearing about how your own mom was having an affair and ended up losing her own life because of it would have been good for you. So in order to keep you happy and healthy, I kept the truth a secret from you, knowing that one day I'd be able to tell you once you had become an adult. I understand that I'm not related to you by blood, but you are still like a daughter to me.
So that's what you thought? But shouldn't you have hated her for all of that cheating and viewed me as nothing more than a child of that nasty woman?
Well, I'm sure most men would have viewed you and your mother that way. The end of our marriage and her life was not pretty for me. And the man that she cheated on me with died in that accident as well. For a while, I was depressed thinking about how to end my suffering from that day.
Yet through all of that, you kept me around and took care of me?
To me, you were still like my daughter. I wasn't going to leave you all alone after my wife, your mother, had died. And over the years, you started to skip school all the time and would never keep a stable job anymore. I had to start thinking about your future for you. And that's when I ended up sticking my neck out and getting you that job as a construction worker. That was the best that I could do for you, considering you ended all your other options.
Why did you never tell me about what happened with you and Mom, though? Had you told me about how hard things had been for you after she died, I would have...
You would have what? I'm sure nothing would have changed had I told you the truth, right? You should have already seen how much effort I was putting in for you.
working 10-hour shifts, 6 days a week for years in order to help keep you happy, to the point I sometimes had to spend the money I had saved up for myself on you.
I know I should have understood things after seeing all that. I get it now. I'm going to apologize to you for everything I've done. But right now, I need you here at this wedding. I need you to tell my fiancé and his family that you're my real father.
No can do. I am not your real father. I'm not even a father-like figure to you. We both cut ties to one another, so all I am is a stranger to you now.
That can't be. You were the one who raised me this whole time, so please come here as my father.
Weren't you the one who called me your fake father, who works a low-life's job? Also, I'm tired of being used as both your ATM and your punching bag when it comes to how you want to live your life. Can't you see that today turned out the way it did because you got what you continued to ask for? I suggest that you go ahead and take responsibility for the results you've gotten, as nobody else will.
I'm telling you that I understand I've messed up. If things don't get any better, my fiancé said he's going to leave me and never come back.
Well, let's hope you can figure something out quickly to stop that from happening. Although I'd highly anticipate him leaving you, as there is nothing he would want more than getting away from a liar like yourself.
Don't you frickin' say things like that. Help me. The only person I have left to help me is my dad.
Well, then go and ask him for help.
I'm not talking about this homeless man. I'm talking about you.
You can't be, because you've said it yourself that you've never even thought of me as your father all of this time. Stop trying to change the story on me when I seem to have a better memory than you.
I'm sorry.
One other thing regarding the construction job you hate oh so much. You're being fired from it. There is no other option for us here, considering I had done everything I could to get you the job, yet you went about and complained the whole time while talking trash about everyone you worked with. So you can now consider yourself unemployed. There is no one else out there to help you now. Go cry in hell about it. After all of that, the wedding ended up being canceled, and May's fiancé told her that things were off for good. He told her there was no way he'd make a wife out of someone who was related to drunks, and that if she wanted to marry him so badly, she should have just told the truth from the beginning. With everything falling onto her shoulders now, she was left with the bill for the whole wedding, and also the bills for all the things that her real father had ruined while stumbling around vomiting everywhere. Unfortunately, she had already used up all of her money paying for the investigator she had been asking for, but was not going to be making any more money for a bit because she had lost her job working for the construction firm. In a panic, she began running all over town looking for a new job, although I'm not sure there's much left that this town has to offer her. I'd like to say that this ending was the fruits of her labor, that she deserves to eat every single one of them.
Make sure you don't cheap out on the gifts at my upcoming wedding, okay? If there isn't at least double the amount I get from the rest of my family coming from you, then I'm going to get upset. I might even make you leave my dad at that point.
Jordan? I'm not sure you should be saying things like that to me right now, especially at a time like this. I understand that you might be excited about the upcoming wedding and all that, but that does not give you the right to say such things like that to me or anyone.
What? I don't have a mom, though, so how am I supposed to know what to be saying? How about you tell me what I should be saying, since I've had to live my whole life with only a dad in my life? I never had a kind mom to help me through anything like this.
I've been around you all your life, though, right? And I had been trying to act as your mother the whole time, teaching you everything I thought you'd need to know. So don't use that whole "I have no mom" trick on me, because I have been here for 25 years helping raise you with your father.
What are you talking about? You think I've ever thought of you as my mom? Could you stop acting like you actually did anything that makes you my mom just because you were around me for a little while?
I'm not trying to act like I'm your mother, though. To be honest, I've just been around your father this whole time and thought it would be kind of myself to be helpful with you. And as far as I can remember, you always did view me as your mother figure. But I suppose that was all a lie then? Which is fine, I guess, but you still need to respect me for what I've done for you.
Stop acting like I should still be thinking of you that way, though. And respect you? No thanks. All of you know right now that I never agreed with you getting married to my dad. Like I'd ever want some useless grandma around in my life. I wonder what my dad saw in your old butt that made him think marriage was a good idea.
For some reason, it's starting to seem like you're acting even worse than before. Did I do anything to you recently? I know that for the past couple of years you've grown a little distant from me, but now it's almost like you're actually trying to make me feel bad.
That's because I really want for you and my dad to get a divorce. So why should I continue being nice to you when I'm trying to get you out of my life? And as for the actual wedding, I really hope you don't actually come to it. You'd ruin the vibe for everyone else there who shows up wanting to celebrate me. All of my guests would have to learn my dad got remarried to some shut-in grandma.
I understand that I work from home most of the time, but I wouldn't start throwing the word shut-in around. It doesn't make me feel good when you call me that.
Well, listen, I've been saying that about you this whole time. And to be real with you, when have I ever seen you actually working a job? Since you're always sitting in that room all day, I'm sure you're just playing video games or watching YouTube, right?
Just because you're not seeing me work does not mean I'm not doing other things in here. What I'm doing is just not something I need to show you, and if I leave the door open for everyone all the time, I won't be able to focus. That's probably why you've never seen what I'm actually doing in that room. But I promise you that what I'm doing is related to my job.
That's what you say. Thank God Dad is such a nice man, right? If he was any more strict with you, then you'd never be able to continue playing those video games all day long, right? How about now that I'm out of the house, though, you go ahead and divorce him?
You really want your father to be alone that badly? Do you think that I'm taking him away from you or something?
If I say that I'm feeling that way, will you divorce him for me?
I'll put some thought into it, yes.
By the way, I'm already married at this point and will be going to my husband here soon. And you know that, right? So, since things between you and I will really be ending here, I'll let you in on one final secret. My dad, he's in love with a younger woman than you right now. She's a model, so recently the two of them have been going on quite a few dates with one another.
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, so you really didn't know about any of this, huh? I kind of figured that someone like you would be clueless. I know there are plenty of older women who begin to stop thinking about the world around them as they've gotten older. But in your case, you must have completely forgotten that there are in fact better-looking women than you out there.
Would you please tell me what's going on here? Is your father really going out with another woman now?
I'm honestly not too sure, so you might want to go and talk with him about it. But from my point of view, I'm kind of thinking he does have another younger woman around. Just from the way he's leaving the house in a hurry sometimes, I can tell that she's got him all tied up in herself. Dang, Julian, there really is nothing left you can do now.
I see. Well, thank you for giving me a heads up. If this is really true, then I guess we're closer to a divorce than even I had thought.
But before you do get that divorce, make sure you allow me to have my wedding first. Wouldn't want to get any bad luck from you or my dad, right? Doesn't seem right to me to have my wedding after you both have cut ties.
It seems that everything must be about you then. All right then, if that's what you want from me, then I'll listen. As for right now, I'm going to start getting to the bottom of things with your father.
By the way, I wanted to talk about this month's allowance. You think you can up it a little for me? I have Jordan's wedding and all coming up. With what little you're giving me now, it might make things a bit tough for me come time that I'd have to help her with the wedding costs and her gifts from me.
What are you talking about, Richard? Month after month, you've already been asking me to raise your allowance for whatever reasons you have. Are there really that many things going on in your life that require you to get more money from me?
There's nothing crazy going on here. I just happen to have a lot of work on my plate, and that leads to me getting stressed out. And so I want to use that money you give me to get some fresh air and relax a little bit. You're making all kinds of money with your job, so it's not like you have anything to worry about. So how about you just give me a bit more each month in my allowance? That way things can be a little bit more fair here.
If that's how you're feeling, then how about you leave that dead-end job you have and work for a company that actually values you and pays you more? I don't want you thinking you can just take my money and play around with it all the time. But in some work yourself, and I promise you'll start making more money and won't have to keep asking your wife for her money.
Hey, don't say things like that. We have both been working for as far as I can remember, at least while we've been married, right? Yet you're not going to let me have anything that you've earned? I thought that by being married we were supposed to share what we made.
I've been letting you have quite a bit of it already. The thing is, you haven't been giving me anything in return. You take all that money you make and spend it all on yourself. Everything that has to do with this house, I'm being left to pay for. And for as long as I can remember, I haven't gotten any money from you to help me out, or even as a gift to show your love and appreciation for me.
But look, Jordan is going to be leaving us soon, so you won't have to pay for her anymore, right? That means you and I can have a little more fun with our lives, right? So you shouldn't be upset about giving me a bit more to spend every month. And as for that appreciation you're seeking from me, I give it to you every day by staying with you.
A little more fun with our lives? For some reason that makes it sound like you don't want to have fun with me, but rather have fun by yourself outside of the house. Hasn't that been where all my money's gone to already that I've given you? I'm sorry, but I'm not okay with that.
Hey, what's gotten into you? You've never spoken to me like that before. What happened to you today that's made you so stingy?
I'm starting to realize that your spending is a little suspicious. Up until now, I haven't really thought anything of it. But then I was being asked for money and gifts from your daughter, and she told me she wanted more from me than anyone else in the family.
That sounds like her. She must have gotten that kind of greedy mindset from her mother. That woman went and took all the money she could get and ran from me. Jordan must have seen her mother doing all of that and ended up loving money and things just as much as her.
And you seem to be the same way as those two.
What was that?
Whatever. Jordan, what is this all about? Where is my seat supposed to be today? Did you forget to tell the wedding staff to set my name out? Huh? I didn't forget anything today. I just made sure that there was no place for you today at this wedding. What? There is no seat here today for some fake wannabe mom like you. This wedding is only for my real family, so a stranger like you needs to get out of here. Just leave whatever gifts and money you bought for me up front and go home. You made sure to bring me a lot of things today, right? Fake wannabe mom? Up until this very day, I have done so much to support you, yet after all of that, this is how I'm treated? You just supported me out of your own desires. I never asked for a single thing from you, right? If you're going to throw a fit about how unfairly you think you've been treated, how about you go outside and do it? We wouldn't want the security in this building to have to come and carry you out for causing a ruckus, right? But if that's what you really want, then go ahead and start crying. I see. So this is really how things are going to be? That's right. And right now it seems your father doesn't care about what's happened to me and is laughing while I stand here patiently waiting. He's told me already that you're the bride today and that if you don't want me here, there is nothing else I can do. He seems to think you want him to be alone today, and that makes him laugh out of happiness. Awesome! Dad is so cool. Why did I ever decide to stick my neck out for you guys all this time? Don't worry, because you don't have to do anything for us anymore. Now shut up and get out of here. Or else I seriously will have the security team come and carry you out. You're not supposed to be here today, so get. All right, I'm going then. And if you regret what you've done later on, I'm not going to listen to you whine. You think anything's going to change today by you not being here? Stop thinking that you're all that important to any of us. I'm cutting ties to you today. Goodbye forever, you useless grandma. Understood. I'll make sure to have these divorce papers handed in today. That will be my wedding gift to you. Seriously? Thank you. No, I really can say goodbye to you forever. Hey, what's going on here? I'm being told that the wedding is now being canceled? They're asking everyone to leave this wedding hall now. Who is this? Stop playing dumb, you idiot. I am your daughter, Jordan. I don't have a daughter, though. You're really going to start telling crappy jokes like that now? Why are things turning out like this now? I never told anyone that I wanted my wedding canceled. Well, don't worry, because I did. Huh? What does that mean? How could you have canceled my wedding? Well, I was the one who went and paid for the whole wedding. What? And since that wedding I paid for would not be seating me, I chose to have it canceled. I have no idea what you're talking about. This whole wedding was all paid for by Dad. What the hell are you going on about? Oh, now that you say that, I'm sure that's how he explained things to you. But unfortunately, whatever your father was telling you was a lie. In reality, I was the one that paid for every little thing related to the wedding today. What? Are you being serious? Well, yes, of course I'm being serious. Isn't the fact that your wedding is being canceled right now clear enough evidence of that? Why? If you're really the one who paid for everything, then why did Dad lie to me about it? That's because your father wants you to continue liking him, and would rather you like him than me. And, well, that led to him trying to show off so that you'd stay with him instead of coming to me. Well, it's too bad things had to end this way, because now you're just going to find out just how poor of a father he really is. No way. You have to be lying. I just went and asked Dad about this, and he won't say a word to me now. I'm sure he won't, because no matter how much he's tried to fake being the man of the house, the only true man of the house with all the power and money was me. That man can't do anything by himself, and you'll soon realize that. You have all the power and money? But the one making the most money is Dad, right? No, that would be me. Honestly, with your father, he's already been trying his best just to stay alive. And that's with the help of me giving him a monthly allowance. Huh? What does that mean? I never heard anything about all of that. And that's because you never care to listen to what anyone has to say to you. I've talked about this many times now, about how I happen to work a very important job from home, and that I'm the one paying for everything in the home. And I have made sure that every time you tried to say I was only in my room playing games, that I am actually in there working diligently. Yet you never listened to any of those words I said, and continued to believe in that lie you made up about me. So don't get upset with me that you chose to live in your false reality. Are you really making all of that money from home? Wait, I sort of had an idea that you'd be working a little bit in that room, but I just assumed you were only making enough to support your hobby of gaming. Well, you never actually cared about anything I was up to and would always leave the house and go out and mess around. That's why you have no idea what kinds of things I was doing for work. But I was always getting my allowance from Dad. I know, and all of that money was coming from me. But your father wanted to make sure, no matter what, that you never found out about that. So I had to keep it a secret for so long that I was the one who really handed all her money to the family. Why would you keep all of that a secret? Because if I were to say anything, then your father would have been destroyed, right? He wanted to seem like this really cool father in front of you. And during those times, I was in love with him. So I had to give in to what he wanted and keep everything a secret with him. Wait, Dad is starting to get really upset right now. He wants to know why you've started talking about all that. He's telling me to tell you that all of that has nothing to do with my wedding? What? Such a loser. So that's all he has to say about what's going on? What do you think of him, Jordan? Do you still find your father to be a really cool guy after he went and kept all this stuff about his income and money to you a secret? I really want to get pissed off at him right now, and what he's done is totally uncool and makes me want to say goodbye to him forever too. Why have I respected my dad so much all this time? Right? I was thinking that myself, and that's why I gave up on keeping that a secret from you. So there you go. That's why I've told you the truth, yet It seems your father still wants to keep the truth hidden from you. I get it now. I get it all now, so you can come back here. You can come back here and join my wedding as long as you tell the staff it won't be canceled. You really think something as wonderful as that is going to happen for you? I told you already that I'm going to get this divorce now, right? I knew something like this was going to happen today, so I made sure to prepare in advance. That's why all of your things are out of the house now, and I'll go ahead and toss them for you, okay? What? What are you talking about now? Wait, does this mean the house is also... That's right, my name is on the house. I've been the one renting the house this whole time, and pretty soon here I'm going to be moving out. I've really wanted to get myself a proper office for work, and so I was thinking it'd be best to get myself an office and then set up a bed in there to sleep. I'll have the lock and everything changed on the house, so both you and your father can stay out of it now. Wait a second! Things are going way too quickly for me. I never heard about any of that either. Aren't you being a real jerk right now, tossing all my things out of the house like that? Wasn't all of this what you wanted, though? I'm giving you the gift of a divorce between myself and your father, yet you're going to get all upset about it now? You don't have to divorce Dad anymore. Please, come back here. You have to do something about what's going on here. All of the groom's family is getting really upset with me now and are threatening to take him away from me. Wow, sucks to be you then, I suppose. Too bad that I don't care. Honestly, I'm sure they are all happy to learn about the true person you and your father are before having the wedding. They're probably thankful for what I've done. Shut the hell up! Do you have any idea what this will do to my life? You think I care about some complete stranger's life? Be happy that I gave up 25 years of my life supporting you and your father. Be thankful for all that. I understand, and I am very thankful for all you've done. Thank you so much for everything, Mom. So please come back here now. I don't ever remember being your ATM, all right? So stop it with all of that fake appreciation for me and get real. Really, do you have any idea how much I am done with your father? Always needing me to do everything for him, even going as far as asking me to pay for your whole wedding, and then on the day of, stabbing me in the back? I think the both of you need to spend some quality time in hell for this. Don't say things like that. I'm not kidding when I say that right now things are really crazy. Dad's girlfriend just showed up to the wedding. She just started to tell him about how back in the day she did some things with his older brother. He knew about how she used to work as a prostitute and would take advantage of her all the time. Oh, she's talking about that stuff now? I knew there was something wrong with her. But to think she did something as wild as that with his brother. What? Do you know her? After you gave me a few hints about how your father was cheating on me, I decided to delve into it a bit more. I got my lawyer involved, and we hired an investigator to have a look at what was going on with your father and her. We needed to know about who she was and what she was up to. You went and did something like that? And as for the allowance I was handing your father each and every month, most of it was going to that woman and the time he spent with her. I want all that money back that I wasted on him, so I'll make sure this settlement I get from him is huge. Settlement? You thought I'd just skip all the fun? I know about how he's been with her for the longest time now, cheating on me. And, well, cheating on me while married gives me the ability to take action against him. I'm still in the talks with my lawyer, so please give me just a few more days. Wait, oh, this can't be happening. Dad doesn't even have the money to pay you back. You think I care about him having the money or not? If he doesn't, then he'd better start moving his ass and making that money for me. We're being asked to pay for the rest of this wedding now? We don't have that kind of money on us. Please, come here and do something about this, Mom. Who is this mom you're talking about? You would never be calling some stranger that, right? You and I have cut ties completely now. So would you shut your mouth and let me have the peace of being free from you both that I deserve? Please don't say things like that, Mom. I will apologize to you for everything my dad and I have done. Don't abandon the both of us at a time like this. Up until a few days ago, I had been trying my best not to be bothered by everything your father and you were doing and just focus on my work. But now that I think about it, I should have gotten rid of you both long ago before things came to this. Now, I've told you what this divorce is, right? It's that present you were asking from me for your wedding that's better than anything anyone else will be giving you, all right? And you losing your wedding and getting into debt with your father is something I believe suits the both of you as well. So please take that next step forward and fall into the hell you've created for yourself. After that, the rest of the groom's family had had enough of Jordan, and they all began to walk out of the wedding hall, officially ending the wedding that Jordan had been so happy about. And as for what Jordan had been saying about her already being married to her fiancé, she was lying and only said that in order to make me feel even worse about how she would be leaving and wanting me to divorce her father. Anyway, as the rest of the groom's guests left the hall, so did a lot of Jordan's guests as well. And soon it was just her and Richard in there, surrounded by the wedding staff, asking for the remainder of the payment that was needed. Neither of them could afford to pay the remaining $5,000, and so Richard ended up writing them a check, knowing very well it would bounce in a couple of days and he'd be in huge trouble. When those two came running back to the house from the wedding, they both found all their things out in the yard, as well as the doors all being locked like I had said. They sat outside for hours, begging to be let inside by me, but I wasn't even at the house at the time and was just watching all of this drama unfold through my doorbell camera. And before they both decided to give up and leave my property, they got into this massive fight, screaming and yelling at one another about whose fault all of this was, before running out of energy and running off. They both would later get themselves a dirt cheap apartment where they've been living now without any furniture in it besides what they already owned. They would later be visited by my lawyer, who would let Richard know that the divorce had been concluded and that he and I were officially exes now. And along with that, he would be told about the settlement he owed me, and that he would get 3 months to pay it off, or else I would be taking him to court and raising said settlement. I'm not really sure he'll ever be able to get me that money I've asked for, but that's alright, because I know deep down that I already have more money than he ever will, and that at least I was given this divorce, which is going to be saving me a lot of money going into the future. The both of them regret never appreciating me for all the things I did for them, and have since had to sit in that apartment crying about what they've lost. But that's not something I care about, as those two most definitely deserved this. And I'm sure once that wedding hall finds that the check has bounced, they will go after Richard and Jordan, and they'll have a new kind of hell to live in. As for myself, I ended up ending the lease on that rented house and got myself a decent-sized office space downtown where I can get my work done from. There's also a small kitchenette inside it and enough space in one of the adjacent rooms for me to make a bedroom out of. I think for the time being I'll be living here, focusing all of my time and effort entirely into my job, instead of into that selfish and greedy family that I once had.